Mark, congrats on going public today. And I do want to get into the specifics of the company. But first, just from a geopolitical standpoint, given everything we're seeing play out on the ground with Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the fact that it has put a lot more attention on intelligence work and data coming from space and satellite constellations, how are you positioned within that? How are you able to, with Terran Orbital, help glean that information? And what kind of growth opportunity does it present?
You know, unfortunately, this tragedy in Europe has brought a lot of attention to what we do for our customers. We build solutions to help image the Earth, both at day and at night. We've been providing Ukraine with information to help save civilian lives, imaging what's going on there in real time and providing them real-time data. And we're seeing a lot of interest from both the commercial and the military sectors in the products that we offer, things like electro-optical imaging, which is taking pictures of the Earth, or synthetic aperture radar, which is where we can image the Earth at night or when it's cloudy out.
Yeah. How do you keep those assets safe in space? And I ask that as I've had conversations with senior officials from the Space Force and the Air Force more broadly who talk about this need for a more resilient architecture and the role that commercial space can play in that.
You know, General Hayden talks about these big, juicy targets in orbit. What we do is most of our satellites are in low Earth orbit, so we're moving at about 6 kilometers a second around the Earth. So we're about 2.5 times faster than a hypersonic missile. So we're pretty hard to catch, and we build them in quantity. So we build what's called constellations of many satellites. So if one goes down, we have many more to take its place.
Understood. We were expecting this Biden 2023, fiscal 2023 budget in just a short while. And the expectation is that we are going to see increased proposals for defense spending as well as civil space spending. What are you looking for, and what kind of opportunity does that mean for Terran Orbital?
You know, the opportunity for us has been huge. I mean, we're building the SDA's transport layer, which is their communications layer of the future, to help other satellites communicate with Earth in a real-time fashion. We're seeing opportunities across the board through the DoD and the IC community of all different kinds of payloads, because we're what's called payload agnostic. We build everything from electro-optical to SAR to infrared, hyperspectral, whatever the customer requires, we help solve the problems from space. And with this new budget, we see lots of opportunities to provide more assets in space to help keep our nation safe.
Mark, it's David. Just a question on your balance sheet as you start life as a public company. You know, I see back in October there was $345 million cash and trust in Tailwind 2. But you only took in $29.4 million. So I would assume redemptions were very high. So you start life with $100 million in equity, or cash on hand, I should say, but debt of $175 million. Is that a result of the fact that the necessary money you needed had to come in the form of debt because the redemptions were so high in the SPAC?
Well, in addition to the $29 million we got from the SPAC, we also had a $51 million pipe.
Right.
So we took in about $80 million of equity into the company, and we wanted access to the public markets going forward. As we are building lots more factories, we announced one recently. We've gone from 50,000 square feet of space to 250,000 square feet of space in climbing. We announced a new project in Florida. We're going to be building the world's largest satellite assembly facility with the state of Florida putting up $300 million for that. It's a 660,000 square foot facility where we're able to produce over 1,000 satellites a year.
Right. But my question was, are you starting life with more debt than you had originally anticipated? And does that in any way hinder your ability to grow?
No, it doesn't hinder our ability at all. We knew it was going to be a rough SPAC market, but if we had tried to do an IPO in this market, it wouldn't have happened. And so we made a conscious decision to use a SPAC because it guaranteed us access to the markets to the end of the day. And we're highly confident about our business plan going forward. We announced even today we've hit over $200 million of backlog that we're building.